So this is just a quick demo of the circuit board I've been working on for the Acorn Atom. So it's fired up, as you can see. So let's just have a look at the MMC drive and just see what's on it. So this is just downloaded off the internet with loads of games and things. So I just run that to give you an example of it working. Just show you demo ROM so you can see the graphics. Come back in a second, I'll just run that. Okay, so this has the noise reducer circuit fitted as well on the board. So as you can see, there's no little dots flicking around or anything. I've made quite a few additions to the main circuit boards, or improvements as far as I'm concerned. So it's got a reset circuit which has been added. The 2114 RAM has been replaced with 64256 or 6264 chips. It has the 4K switchable RAM at 8000. The kernel ROM is a 64K ROM, so you've got an upper and lower version for two versions of the OS. And I've replaced the 8304 and the 81LS 95 chips, which are basically obsolete, with 74 series LS 245s and 244s. The keyboard is now a Cherry MX style keyboard, which is separate, so you can have the board up the correct way. The CPU clock is configurable to 1, 2 or 4 megahertz, and I've added a video out connector on the actual circuit board. Okay, so that shows you the graphics working nicely. So I've tested most of the board. So we can load something now from cassette. So rather than using a cassette player, I'm just using a laptop. So I have two versions of the operating system installed on this machine. It's just selectable by a link. So in this mode, the Atom MC2 ROM is running, so you can use an MC2 board and load stuff off of an SD card, or you can use an old style disk drive. So in this format at the moment I can't actually load from cassette, so I need to change it over to the other OS. So I'll just turn the machine off, just change the link over, turn it back on again, and now the machine can load from a disk drive if you have one plugged in, and you can load from cassette. So if I do load clock, which is just a program I saved earlier, playback. Now if I just play this on my laptop, this should load in. Take a little while, so I'll just skip through this. Okay, and that's loaded. So if we now just run that, it's just the clock program off of the Atomic Theory book. As you can see, that's working nicely. Okay, this is just a little demo of the disk drive, just to prove that it's working through the expansion board. So let's just go into DOS mode, just do a directory. So there's some programs I saved earlier. If you do star info file name, it'll tell you the length and where it is in memory and stuff. Okay, let's just load that in. Okay. And run. And this is just from the Atomic Theory book. As you can see, it's working nicely. Okay. Now I'm going to save a program as well, just to show you the save facilities working. That. Okay, it's working. Save test 3. So it's now saved. So we look at the directory. That's on there over there. Now I'm going to clear the memory in the machine just to get rid of it, and then we reload it. Okay, just make sure it's gone from memory. Yeah, that's gone. Let's crash the machine. Okay. Let's do Stardust again. And then load PS3. Move on. And there it is. I'm just going to show you how it looks on a UHF TV, an old style CRT. So I'll just turn the television on, just here. Just wait for that to come up, just so you can see there's no trickery going on. Okay, there's a normal TV on a UHF channel. Now I'll turn the Atom on. As you can see, it's come up. The screen display isn't nice, but all you need to do is just turn the contrast down a bit. And the brightness. Okay, so perfectly fine. As the Atom has no sound as such, apart from the little speaker, you get no sound on a normal television. So I'll just turn the sound right down. Okay, let's just run a little program just to show you that it's working fine. Okay, it's a bit of interference, but it's a UHF signal, so it's never going to be perfect. Let's just load a little program in here. There we go, just run that. Return, and here we go, just a demo ROM which is installed into the extra RAM at 8000. So you can see that working. If I change this over to video, you'll see an improvement. Okay, this is darker, so again you just need to change the contrast and brightness. That's not, that's volume, don't want volume. Okay, there you go, much better picture. And there you have it, on a standard CRT TV. So I've made my own disk interface. You can use the original one or one you can get off eBay, whatever. You just need to remove the memory chips and the EEPROM, as they're not required, as the main board has got all that on the board. I just wanted to show you some of my prototypes. So this is the first one, which was a bit of a nightmare because I made a lot of mistakes. So if you look at the back, there's a lot of linked tracks and cut tracks and things, but I did get it going. Worked reasonably well, or fine. I've added a little expansion RAM for A000 as one of my test boards, and a trial reset circuit. And then I've kind of evolved and just kept on adding more and more bits and pieces. So this one, I was just trying the noise killer, see if that worked, which it did. And a few other modifications here and there. And this one, does this one? This one has, oh yeah, this one has a reset circuit on the side there. So that worked in the end. Again, I made a few mistakes on the back. There's some problems with the clock on the chip. It was a bit unreliable, so I've changed the circuit slightly. Also I've had a few issues with the video circuit. Been getting sort of colour interference on the black and white screen, which I've got working reasonably well. I think basically I had the clock circuit too close to the video chip. I've now moved it, which has really improved things. So that was version 2. Version 3 down here. This has got the noise killer circuit added. And I changed the chips going to the expansion bus for 7.4 series rather than the old-fashioned 81LSs and 8304s. I also made some little prototype boards just to convert the original 81LSs to the 7.4 series, which are just here, just to prove that they worked. And then on the next version, I've actually added the 7.4 series chips to the video circuit, and that all worked nicely. I've just tried the UHF modulator, that seems to be working fine. And this one, which I was hoping was going to be the last version of the board, had a problem with the video going colour, so I've moved it over to here, and that seemed to improve it, and added some more smoothing to the video chip with this little capacitor. So on the final version, that's all been added, but it's under the disk drive board at the moment. I mean, there may well be some revisions, I'm not really sure. That's how it goes. And so the next thing I'm doing is building one of the colour boards with the Raspberry Pi. So parts are on order, boards are on order, and we'll see where we are with that. I've also done various versions of the Atom MC2, because without that you can't really do very much with the computer, so obviously for loading stuff. So initially I just made this VariBoard version. I had a nightmare getting this going because there's so many versions of the Atom MC2 software out there for the PIC chip and for the ROM, but I managed to get a version going, and I've done a few versions and just made changes and improvements as time's gone on. And I've done a surface mount version which is a bit smaller, and I've also done another one which is even smaller than this, so it can just fit inside the case onto the circuit board.